with Bray Wyatt landing a role for a film and a WWE legend wanting a match against Sasha Banks. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for November 10th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Following his AEW debut at Double or Nothing this year, Lio Rush would announce his retirement from pro wrestling in June due to injury. Now he's recovered and is back in the promotion. Speaking on getting better, he touched on his heat with Mark Henry and revealed the advice he got from Jon Moxley. That's pretty much what it is. Just two very strong-minded individuals had a disagreement and now it's over. Everything's good now, and I think a lot of people are coming to terms with that. In my case, people know how I am. People are starting to kind of see that picture, especially with me, being a little more open about my story and why I'm doing this and who I'm doing it for. I've always been a guarded person, but I feel like once I let loose and start to kind of let people in a little bit, things are starting to move in a way that I want them to, and people are a lot more accepting of who I am as a person. People are different. People are all doing it for different reasons. At the end of the day, we're all human. I just had a conversation with Mox. First time I've ever had a conversation with Mox. And I've known him for so long, but he said to me, we're all just humans doing human stuff and going through human stuff. And I always felt like that, but I never knew how to express that in a way that didn't come from anger. And now it's coming from a place of reason and of experience, and just being older and more knowledgeable. It's pretty good. With him currently managing Dante Martin, Rush is expected to make his return to in-ring action soon. Since his debut in AEW, Sting has taken a liking to Darby Allin, with them constantly seen together on programming. They would even have a cinematic match against Brian Cage and Ricky Starks at Revolution. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Allin recalled having to convince Sting to wrestle in front of a live crowd. Me and Sting have grown so much together outside of what people have seen on TV. Our personalities outside of the ring, we've come so close and the fans don't see that part. Originally, he was supposed to come in for some cinematic matches, and I went to his house in Texas where he had a ring set up, and we started rolling around and training, and I convinced him to actually wrestle in front of a live crowd. Nobody gets to see those moments behind the scenes. It's just us talking. You got this, I'm training with you and seeing what you're doing. Let's do it. Double or Nothing against Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page meant a lot, because we never thought it would happen. He gives other people confidence, and it's cool that I can help and go, you got this. It's cool to do that in all aspects of life. One NXT faction that has been making noise on the main roster is Hit Row, as they are seen to have a ton of potential. Shortly after their call-up, however, B-Fab was let go during the recent company-wide cuts. Ringside News would give details, writing, Hit Row losing B-Fab was a big shock in the last wave of releases. We asked around about why she was cut, and we were told the group was deemed to be just fine without her. There is no heat on Hit Row, but the stable is obviously going through this change upon their call-up. With it previously noted that AEW President Tony Khan no longer has a booking committee with the AEW EVPs, Khan told PW Torch that the executives are still involved. They are all still very involved in stories, and I talked to all four of them a ton about not just their programs, but what I am doing with other people, and I am just trying to be organized in a different way, and I talk to them all, and have more compartmentalized conversations. It has helped me be better organized, especially to get through the pandemic when there were no in-person meetings. It worked out even better because I had already been going in that direction. Khan would previously note that the shows have been much more organized with him producing on his own, as it seems EVPs still have a good bit of input. Now that Gable Steveson is an official member of the Raw roster and hinted at going after Big E's WWE Championship, the champion has now responded, saying this to Planeta Wrestling about a title match against the Olympic gold medalist. Seeing what he did at the Olympics, watching his Olympic gold medal match, just incredible. We were all talking about it in the locker room, so the fact that he's here in WWE, obviously he needs some time to train and get ready. But when the time is right, if he earns that shot and he's ready for it, then I'm all for it. I am a big fan of all that stuff that he's done. He's just a mind-blowingly good athlete. The fact that he's still in college, like, he can still win another national championship. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, salute to him, and I'm excited to see what he does in WWE. Speaking of superstars wanting a match, Trish Stratus spoke on Vibe 105 Sports about the prospect of facing off against Sasha Banks. If you're talking about the dream match that everyone talks about with Sasha Banks, maybe you might be referring to that match, or you might not be. Maybe that's what I'm referring to. She is an amazing athlete. People they fantasize about that match, because we had a little face-to-face at the Women's Royal Rumble, and who knows? That is appealing to me. I think she is a fantastic athlete. She has brought so much to the company, and has elevated the women in the industry from what she's done. I think fans would love to see that. I would love to whoop her butt and prove that I'm the best, and you know, stuff like that. So yeah, let's leave it with that little button and say perhaps one day, if I decide to go back in the ring, I may have to deliver a little satisfaction to the boss. Despite him recently becoming king of the ring, Xavier Woods is talking about retirement from wrestling and what his plans are after he's done in the ring. With him telling the Out of Character podcast, "I don't want to be just a wrestler. I never wanted to be just a wrestler. Wrestling is fantastic. I will love it until the day that I take my last breath and for 2 more minutes afterwards. I do understand that at some point I won't be able to do this anymore. My body is finite. My career in wrestling is finite. I think that it's something you have to look at head on as far as what the next chapter of life looks like." Woods does have other side projects, but it turns out one of them might not be as profitable as we think. While he has more than 2 million subscribers and gets plenty of views, Xavier Woods' YouTube channel doesn't exactly earn him much money. Fightful has indicated that he receives no additional money from his Up Up Down Down channel, as that is applied towards his downside guarantee in his contract. Apparently the staff has initiated a strike over this, hoping to work out a better deal. Seeing as though he is not only a popular star but one that is being pushed, the company should work out a more suitable agreement with Woods and company. On Insight with Chris Van Vliet, Rob Van Dam was asked about wanting to have another match in WWE. While RVD said he has more bouts in him, he did shoot down a rumor regarding why WWE won't let him wrestle. "I definitely have matches in me. I'm not sure if they will be in WWE or not. I think probably because why not? At the same time, maybe there is a why not that I do not know about. Despite it all, I've kept in touch with Vince. I know we have a good relationship, specifically when certain things happen. There was something nobody knows about that got thrown around and got back to me that Carrano said I was part of the concussion suit against WWE. Complete BS. It seemed to stop me from doing something I wanted to do. Very shortly after I talked to Vince, he did not mention anything. There were rumors that went out that WWE had told me I could never wrestle for them again because of concussions, and most people believe that was true, but I never talked to WWE about any concussions. That was some BS that someone pulled out of some divorce papers when the evil ex was being real nasty. She was saying at the time that I was faking double vision that I had, which is documented throughout the movie of Headstrong. My evil ex said I should have been working full-time like it did in 03, sending her money. So that got out there and people think it is true because it is now on the internet. With him recently returning to Raw after a stint on NXT, Finn Balor could be out of action for some time. PW Insider is reporting that WWE pulled Balor from the latest live event in England, as it was said to be due to a minor injury. This is seen as a precautionary measure, with it looking like Balor could just need a little break to recover. Now that Bray Wyatt is no longer under a WWE non-compete clause, he can wrestle for other promotions. In the meantime, Jason Baker told Metro.co.uk that Wyatt has landed a role for a film. He's a phenomenal collaborator. He's become a really good friend, and you're the first person that we're publicly telling about. We're starting a film at the end of the month. Not much was revealed about this project, as Baker would go on to note that we had some meetings out there, and things happened, and things got moving forward. And now we're going and shooting this feature film with him at the end of the month. Baker is a special effects makeup artist that has worked with Wyatt in the past, as we're curious to see what this project entails. With Nia Jax recently being let go by WWE, a new report from Ringside News says a creative team member thought this release was a long time coming, as they said, no idea about Nia Jax needing mental health assistance. Either way, she should have been fired years ago. Jax had stated she asked for time off from the company to deal with mental health issues, as her vaccination status reportedly played a role in her being released as well. Steve Carrier would further note that Nia Jax's WWE release surprised a lot of people, but there are some in the company who are of the mindset that it was a long time coming. Her work rate, backstage attitude, and how she has injured so many superstars did not go unnoticed. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.